after speaking about consentments and from letting the world know how missionaries end up called for consentments, it is to our knowledge that the robbing team is been saying whatever across their mind to move on with their spoil from naive blacks and whites. It is our responsibility to throw more light to the rest of the world about what's happening into this theft, because we've experienced this and we know the results of their actions this dubious. I was then sure that a big hood is joined this robbery, and a big hood now is playing it bad to mess we the more. A gentleman like Stephen Mayanja Damolira, who thinks whatever is done it in morals and manners, and is ever talking about morals. I mean, at his age, we cannot give correction. His age, Damolira Mayanja's age and position at the company Ucom, we can't throw any collection or give direction, but our rights still take a stand before Stephen to human rights are sound to everybody, and it takes any person's responsibility protect his or her human rights. It is my right to have whatever they have stolen at the US Embassy. Hashtag Uganda Christian Outreach Ministries. Yes, and people like Stephen Mayanja Damolira, who played in morals and manners, drugs plus Mayanja to be that bold into the drug world is a big lord, and his friends are sure we are pets to Steve, and we are also, I am not pulling a rope with Steve, but it's my right to get it there that way as it was flowing to me. Yes, and from what information I have from the States on my mails, Stephen Mayanja is hurt, and they all say I had no right to speak. I had a right to speak. If anybody else has a right to speak as people have spoken about me, how come I don't have a right to say so? But I have a right to speak. I have a right to take what is mine. I have a right to to be respected as anybody who's been a member of the fellowship. We all attend. I mean, I have a right not to be intimidated by any fool who gets drunk in church, by alcohol. Men of Seguku Worship Center who get drunk and they have been part of the theft cannot think now they are sound than me. A robber, Mulumba, Latigo, cannot think is that sound because he robs and he comes to Damulira for more, and the Damulira also offers more. Yet Latigo robs every night. Latigo Mulumba still goes to our fellowship and he still robs every night. The church admin of Seguku Worship Center, I mean, I can't point persons like that cheap, but it's a big hood into this theft, and this theft is still going on, headed by the president of Uganda and the family, generals like Katumba Wamala, like Eddie Kayanja, like Muozi Kanyarugaba, Janet Seveni. I mean, it's a big hood which is backed up by these funds that way. Government also feeling that solid to get our welfares, put them into associations like empowerments of women and youth and men of their regions only. I mean, NRM, whatever. I mean, how come our welfares are put in that category, yet we have a right to have them? Stephen Mayanja has got no right to give away warmth welfares. Mr. Stephen Mayanja Damulira, Director, Chairperson, has got no right to give away our welfares to the rest of the world, as is distributed money to witch doctors and wizards and night dancers and sluts and robbers to protect him, because that is how far Stephen is gone. Yet is having another mess behind of Talimwa. We saw our brother die because of money. Who made it possible? Steve. And I tell you, after he's done all that, he chooses to just vamosh Uganda, go to America, stay for some months, come back here, pretend anyway. I'm not intimidated by anybody. Me, I'm not intimidated by any situation, by anybody. But a fool is a fool. Kayanja Robert of Miracle Center to feel that comfortable, dragged into theft by a dragged pullover due to complications he causes as he practices gay sex and hard cocaine drugs is experienced all over his years, is becoming dubious enough to rob us, pretend he's in the spirit of God. Mr. Kayanja Robert of Miracle Center Cathedral, Kampala, Uganda. People cannot play this deeper because they have got cows. I mean, these are rich men. Their minds are too narrow. I don't know why here, but indeed they just play it to have more like that. Yes, I did not accept the US Embassy staff to obtain my parcels as they have obtained them. I did not accept any pastor to have my parcels, use them as they have taken them. And it is not into Uganda's constitution that the president opens every parcel which DHL happens to bring in Uganda. It is dubiousity and stupidity of the highest order. Mature people, rich mature people like Kayanja Robert, Damulira Mayanja, Museveni Kaguta, Sise Mayanja, Jessica Kayanja, Kasozi Robert, Nambudye Robina, Andrew Wensonga. Those are the guys who have joined the president to rob, and they took themselves before the president with a proposal to rob property because they have a backup of guns and witches and wizards and bad asses in America. It is our responsibility as people they have robbed to protect our lives, to protect our families, but they have gone deeper to oppress us. No communication, no delivery. Yet I have lived in Ucom for 26 years. Ever since I have joined that place, it takes like 28, from 26 to 28 years. Those are the years I've spent with Steve. That's why you see Steve does it and he plays it confident. He comes before me. He's just too proud that he met Museveni and they shared a meal of a dead body together. Mayanja is fed on corpse already. That's why he's that crazy and he changes not. But a fool is a fool. I imagine how far Kayanja Robert of Miracle Center can be pulled into this, dragged into theft by such a dragged force after he plays it spiritual. It's like they have done this to disciplined people, thinking it is their easy way through with lots of money. We've invested time in study, and the Don Rockefeller of Washington, D.C., the owner of Ucom and Warmth, chose to take care of us, and he chose some of us, put us to the Warmth Foundation welfares. If this gentleman up to now still sends our welfares through Stephen takes it that personal to even negotiate with witch doctors deal with us. The many witch doctors Stephen and Sise Mayanja They have met. That is how far they have given our funds to them. So Mr. Kayanja, to think that if he talks to the president has a right to give him what is stolen. Those are drugs, coke, and gayism attitudes which have taken Kayanja of Miracle Center crazy, mad, and people like Robert Kasozi to play it a boy, whoever, while he rapes girls he's raising in his house to mothers. It is also crazy, bad. So I appeal to the rest of the world that this hood is big. It is our right to protect our human rights. It is not President Biden's responsibility to protect our funds. It is our responsibility. Our Supremes have gone mad, have gone quizzed, have gone dragged heavily. Look what Easterly Dave of Washington, Philadelphia Church. Look what Kayanja Robert of Miracle Center Cathedral. Look what their wives and children. Look what kids like Samuel Kasozi, they have offered cocaine in order to get complications so they can have our parcels and money with a talk. Our son has got complications. Sam Kasozi, a son to Robert Kasozi, chairperson, Uganda Christian Ministries, Outreach Ministries. I appeal to the world. Cocaine and heroin tembo drugs with gayism. It is rampant now here in Africa. I am calling upon Narcotics International. I am calling upon the Supreme Court of America. I am calling upon the Reserve Bank of America. I am calling upon the law enforcement team all of America. I am calling upon the missionary security team. Missionary security team. I made research about it. I made research about the missionary society. They cannot refuse that whoever comes to Africa into a missionary sense is not. Yet they recommend them to travel. Yes, so if their missionaries seek consentments when they have robbed, go all over to say, these guys just like us, they gave us all their funds. We are not crazy to offer our money to that piggish woman called Brenda Vos. You see that? We are not crazy to handle our welfares, give them away to a drugged old man like David Easterly and Dan Hammer, who just enjoy drugs like as they eat. Thank you very much for having me here at YouTube, and the rest of my lots. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for your support. Anyway, thank you so much.